Hi everyone. So I want to go ahead and share how we can take the Altair dashboard we built and embed it in a web page and more broadly inside of a full visualization system. So here, this is a dashboard that I built for a totally different project. We're sticking tweets around a particular topic, displaying the sentiment for two different groups of people. Here, it's AI and health and doctors and not doctors. And you can actually see, you've seen enough Altair now. This is an Altair chart, or a Vega chart under the hood here that's being displayed. And we've got tooltips, which is pretty sweet. And what I've done here is I've actually also connected this to a custom D3 visualization. So this is the hedonometer sentiment visualization, the word shift graph here, and I've connected this directly to the Altair chart. So these are talking to each other via JavaScript under the hood, which is pretty nice. And I want to show how we can do this for the dashboard that we built together. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the console here. And what we see, if we dive in here, this is the index I have open. So this is the basic web page. And let's see what we got going on here. So about AI and health. And ultimately, right, this is just a shell. It's going to load some JavaScript packages. In particular, we need the Vega, VegaLite, and Vega embed. Let's go and see what's going on in our app. So app is going to be the main thing that's happening here, right? Let's see. This is going ahead and loading the word shift graph. And then let's go find where it's doing the actual embed. So here is where we're going to go and use the Vega chart spec. So here are some of the options that's being passed to. We're using the SVG renderer. This is actually customizing the spec that got loaded. And then we're going to pass that spec into Vega embed. We can also, and I also went and customized the Y labels for the emojis. They wanted to see those, so pretty fun. We can go and do that. So I actually went and overrode them on the chart directly using D3. Just another cool thing that you can do. And these are how they're working together. So this is actually that click callback listener that's interacting with the other chart. And let's see, at the beginning of this, it's going to have to go and load our chart spec. Where are we getting it? Plot word shift, selective. Let's go find the spec. Okay, so there we're calling plot chart with the spec. Here we're manipulating the spec. Oop, I just missed it. Initial loaded is going to get our full load. So here's our full load that's going on. It's actually loading all of these things. And in addition to those, it is going to load the chart spec. So here's our chart spec that's good at loading for the Altair chart. Anyway, probably too in depth on this one in particular. I wanted to show this because I want to steal some of this code and go and do this with the dashboard that we built together. So let's dive in there. So I've got that one open. It's right here. This is the Geo dashboard that we built. Oh, let's go to the bottom here and get the full thing. Takes a second to reload, actually. And there it is. So there's a few ways we could do this. What I want to do is I want to actually go and extract the chart spec itself. Now, if we don't want to like manually extract the JSON chart spec, we could, there's a few different ways we could do it. We could have like Flask run the Python to actually generate the chart spec in real time. I think that's a pretty cool way to do it. Here, right, I want to extract it. And one thing I want that chart spec to do is I want VegaLite to actually go and load JSON data. So here it's looking at subdf, and it's also going to, it's just using subdf as the data. So I wanted to use JSON data, and I can do that by enabling Altair's transformer. So let's do that. It's going to break the charts here on, collaboratory because it's not going to work. But it's not disable max rows. Instead, JavaScript comment. Instead, let's turn on the transformers, data transformers. We're going to enable the JSON data transformer. Okay, now we'll probably see that we have broken the charts. So let's go and try one. This crazy looking one. Let's see. Yeah, we broke the chart, but that's okay because we just want to use the chart spec, and we want to use the JSON data that it saved. So if I go look over here, we're going to see that we dumped the JSON data behind that chart we just looked at. So remember, 909 was the first chart. We don't need it. All right, so let's go ahead and run our dashboard here. It's going to dump a chart spec. Okay, so of course it didn't work, and it should have dumped another data. Well, let's go and check. So here, right, this is our full chart. So let's go and add a code block. Let's call this our chart. Let's call it like our dashboard. So that is going to be an Altair chart. And we can go ahead and look at dashboard. Oh, there we go. It showed up. Probably F99. It's only going to need to write it once. But of course it's not going to work. But what we can do is we can actually just go and render what that chart looks like in Vega. This would be Vega Lite, actually. So here's the Vega Lite spec for the chart. And yeah, here's the data that it loaded. It says F99. So the chart, Vega Lite itself, is going to try to load from this URL. It doesn't work because Google is not rendering this as a URL for us. That's okay. So what we want to do is we want to take this JSON. What we can do is we can just actually write this out. So let's load JSON, and then let's load the path from pathlib import. I think it's lowercase, pathlib import path. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do path of, let's say, dashboard spec.json, right text of json.dumps. Well, it already actually is JSON. I guess we don't need the JSON library, right? But here, we just do two-ticked. And boom, we should have a dashboard spec. Did it work? No? Or is this just slow? What do you guys think? Maybe. Oh, it's just slow. Okay. Yeah. If we wanted to see what's going on, right? We could go ahead and ask it. This is that's what's going on. Okay. So it worked. So that's our dashboard spec. So we've got a dashboard spec and we've got our data. Those are the only two bits we need. So you know, we could render these dynamically, right? And the data, I think we could actually just dump out of pandas if we want to. If we want to do this dynamically. But I just want to go ahead and get these two files and let's go ahead and create a dashboard off of it. Okay, so basically I want to get these into an HTML page. So let's go and do it. So these are actually the slides pages. I'm going to push it up here on GitHub so you guys have it. Let's create a new folder. Let's call it our dashboard. Maybe Altair dashboard. Altair dashboard, and let's get an index file. Okay, rocking and rolling. Let's start that out, right? And then we're going to want to go and I'm going to steal the code from here to go and get us the JavaScript bits that we want. Here, right, I'm also going to steal D3. Oh, that's not the D3 we want. Let's do D3 V6. Oh, there's the tag we want. Let's go grab it. Here we go. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, so this is working. We've got D3, we've got Vega Lite, we've got Vega Embed. And I think that's all we're gonna need. Let's go with this. So we're gonna be loading JSON files off disk. So let's go here. Let's move from the downloads folder. I think we had Altair data. And let's take that to 11. Right, and let's also move dashboard spec to 11 and dashboard. Okay, let's go there. 11 and dashboard. All right, we've got 3 files, looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and run a simple web server because we're going to want to be able to load those JSON specs. Okay, so we've got a web server, and let's go and load our data. So here we go. Let's go to localhost. I think we're port 8000. 8000. Here we go. There's nothing here. Okay, as expected. So let's go to the Vega embed API just to check out, make sure we use this right. Here's Vega embed. We're just gonna steal their starter code here. And we've got these 3 libraries, which are what we need. Let's just do our JavaScript right in the main page. We could make a separate JavaScript file. Doing this all at the end of the body tag here. Looks like they use 2-space indenting. Okay, we needed a spec. Cool, and we needed a viz element to plot it in. So let's do div and then id viz. That's what this is expecting. I think this should give us the sample chart. Let's go for it. So here's our localhost. Yay, it worked. Okay, so now we want to get our dashboard in here. So the way that we want to do that, we could just go and stuff our whole spec in, but let's go back to Atom, and here, right, our spec is actually a local file, right? Dashboard spec.json, I think, right? Let's see. Dashboard.spec.json, and let's give it a shot. There we go. We've got a live dashboard going, and all of our interactions are working. Oh, looks like our circle came out a little big with no blue fill. Okay, a few things maybe we can touch up. Okay, well, we'll have to check that out. And make sure, we actually might need... Oh, we're loading a very old version of Vega Lite. So maybe this will break some other things, but let's at least go with version 4.8.1. There we go. Yeah, cool. And it's looking a little better too. I should probably check that our other versions are up to date. But this is looking good. Here, right, we actually let both the JSON here and the actual JSON for the spec be loaded by Vega embed, so it did both those loads for us. We could go and use D3 to load the JSON directly, and that would allow us to manipulate it if we wanted. So here, we just passed it the URL, but we could pass it the actual JSON object as a spec, and that's what I did in the other example. But there we go, we got it working. And now from here, there's a bunch of things we could do. Right, I think it'd be fun to go ahead and take this and wrap a Flask app around it so we can, actually use the GPX file directly, and so we can use Altair directly to create these specs and build out a live web application. Thanks for watching.